This is going to be my complete PSYLOCK guide. I've seen a lot of people make these, and not that they're bad or that I necessarily disagree with them, but I just feel like there's some stuff that hasn't been covered that I found really helpful in my ranking up with PSYLOCK. She's the first DPS that I really started using a lot in ranked, and I've just seen a lot of people misplay her when I use or when I'm playing with the PSYLOCK or against the PSYLOCK. So with that being said, we're gonna get right into the guide on how to be the most efficient with her. So if you don't know, PSYLOCK is kind of like a dive type assassin type player. I like using her like an assassin the most. So with PSYLOCK, I feel like positioning is the most important. But we'll get into that a little later. So first, we're just gonna go over her kit. I'm sure a lot of y'all know her kit already. Her left click is hit scan. It's just a, you know, pretty decent damage. You can poke to try to build your ult up at times. It does have damage fall off, so it's not the best at range, but I mean, you know, it can do what it needs to do. Her right click is gonna be the shuriken that goes out, as you see the timer that just went down there, so it automatically retracts after that. And it does damage on the way in and on the way out. Let me turn cooldowns off for a second. So you could do damage just like that. Obviously, there's usually a cooldown, but another thing about her right click, so if I throw it there and I look here and retract it, it goes back to me that way, so it does damage to both targets there. Her E is a disappear that gives you a slight speed boost. You're completely invisible here unless you're taking damage. If you're taking damage, they can see what I see here, that purple outline. And last but not least, her shift is her dash, which you can use to do damage, which sometimes is good, most of the time is not good. Usually you like to use it to reposition yourself to escape from a fight. But we'll get into that when we go into positioning. You can see the damage it does here. So it's not bad damage. Definitely helps in some combos sometimes. But okay, next we're going to talk about positioning with PSYLOCK. You don't want to be a frontline PSYLOCK. That's not how you want to play PSYLOCK. You're not going to get good value that way. Like say this is my 2 tanks and my other DPS. You don't want to be up here shooting tanks or shooting other DPS because you're not going to kill anybody like this. Most likely, you know. Most likely you're not going to kill anybody like this. What you want to do, depending on your game mode, is trying to find a target. That's what I like to do. When I'm PSYLOCK, I try to find a target. So I kind of go around the side. You want to flank a little bit. You can go invisible to get positioning, get behind somebody. And once you find a target, now we can talk about the combos that I like to use. So positioning wise, you want to flank, you want to be out of the way, you want to play with health packs, you want to go invisible to get behind people and shift to get away. But once you find your target, we're going to talk about some combos that I like to use. So we'll use this Luna, for example. Say that we flanked around and she's over here with a cloak and dagger and maybe a Hawkeye backline that she's pocket healing or whatever. So what I usually do in this situation is I go invisible and I'll try to get behind them. So I don't want the Hawkeye to turn around and look at me. I don't want the cloak to look at me until I've already started my combo, because you can do kind of one-shot combos. So what I like to do when I want to go completely incognito, once I come behind him, you want to try to headshot, obviously. You want to do 2 primary fires, your right click, retract it, headshot. So that's kind of the simple combo you can do. And the reason I don't dash here is because, like I said, imagine there's a cloak and a Hawkeye here. So if I do this and dash, I have 1 dash left if I didn't use it already. So if I only have 1 dash, now it's a 6-second reload there. And then if you do happen to be out of dashes here, it's the same out of dashes, you see 11 seconds there. But as I do damage, it reloads way faster. Now it's 1 second, so it took about 3 seconds. That's why I think her difficulty is so high, because you have to really manage your cooldowns, because you can use all your cooldowns and be in a fight with nothing, and then you're just left clicking and you're gonna die eventually. So it's good to keep your cooldowns and keep looking at them and try to do poke damage after you use them so they come back faster. But we'll go over a couple more combos that I like to use with her. But most likely, the combo you're going to do the most is just left click, left click, and you delete people. I mean, those are all headshots, so I'll do some just all body shots. So left click, right click, left click, and she's done. She's just done. Another thing that's important to know about her right click is that when you dash, it actually retracts it as well. So what I like to do sometimes is leave it in, pause, and then dash like that. Once you get a little more advanced, you can throw in combos. I'll try to go slow here because I'm sure a lot of PSYLOCK players aren't watching this video because they already know how to play PSYLOCK. But what you can do sometimes is throw a melee in there. With almost any DPS, you can throw a melee in there at close range. So it does a lot more damage. It adds up. So say I do like, here, I'm gonna reset her health. Say I go behind her, I can start with a melee if they don't know I'm here, even though it's, you know, it's a third person game. So about right here, start with the melee and then go into your combo, and it just takes off that last bit of health. So you can go left click, right click, dash, dash, but now you have no dashes to get away. So that's only if it's one person there and you absolutely want to delete them. You can just double dash them like you're a Black Panther, but now you have no dashes to get away. So that's something you want to be aware of, is when to use combos with the dash and when to use them without it. Because with the dash, you can kind of go here, right click, dash in, and I fell off. So that's just a couple of your combos you can use. The main thing is not to be left with no cooldowns, because then you're just sitting here left clicking and you're gonna die. So it's to be smart. The best way to play her is find a target, drop on them, hit a quick combo, and then escape. Her combos are very simple. That's not why she's a 5-star difficulty. It's not because she has hard combos. It's because you have to manage her cooldowns. Because look, I have no cooldowns. If there's another person here, I'm dead. A lot of people use their dashes in the middle of a fight for no reason. You never want to start a fight with a dash. Never want to start a fight with a dash. Because now I have no dashes and I'm going to die here. I mean, you can still combo her, but you can freeze me. They can turn around. That's another thing when you're playing PSYLOCK. Kind of to go back to my positioning thing, obviously you want to flank a lot and you want to dive the back of the line a lot, but you want to know when to do that. If you're just leaving your team behind and you're going to their back line and you're like, okay, bet they're right here, and you start killing their cloak and dagger, she's gonna calm, or their Luna, whoever their healer is, they're gonna calm PSYLOCK's backline. So if your team is not pressing the front line, their whole team is going to turn around and be like, kill this bitch, what the hell? So you want to make sure that your tanks are up front, your other DPS like a Bucky is up front. They're applying pressure to the tanks and the other DPS up front, because then if the tanks and the DPS do turn around to help their backline, your team can push forward and kill the people that they're trying to help. So you don't want to just leave your team entirely and not worry about them at all, because you're going to die over and over again trying to dive the backline when everybody's looking at you. So you still want to coordinate and just be aware. I mean, you can see your teammates through the wall, so look over, see who's there, your healer's there, and you know, don't just dive in by yourself. Another thing is you want to memorize where all the health packs are at, because you're not going to be getting heals. You're going to be miles away from your team. And the last thing that we're going to cover is her ult usage. I've killed a lot of PSYLOCKs out of their ult, and I've seen my teammates die out of it. You're invulnerable after it starts. So if you look here, I press it, that small second where I do that little spin in the middle, I can die right there. It's a small moment, but I can die right there. Once it starts, you can't be killed by anything. So what I like to do is PSYLOCK. Let's say, for example, you know, for one, it goes based off the amount of people in it. You want to avoid tanks as much as you can with your ult, because it's just going to continue hitting them. It hits them every 2 times that it hits one squishy. So you hit a squishy once, a tank twice. So it's not good. You want to avoid the tanks entirely. Try to go invisible, get to their back line, maybe shoot them a couple times so they turn around. And then what I like to do is just dash straight up and then start my ult, because you're invulnerable at the beginning of it. Maybe not that high up, because there was a target up there that it took me off of, but you're invulnerable at the beginning of it. So you want to dash up so you're not able to get hit. So like dash straight up and then start, because then nobody can hit you out of the sky. I mean, they still can, but nobody's going to do that. So avoid tanks and dash up before you start your ult. Be aware of your cooldowns. Be aware of your team's positioning when you dive the back line. And just take out the healers. She's so easy to use once y'all learn her kit. And it's so easy to climb ranks using her. Like, she is the biggest impact, in my opinion, for DPS, because you can just delete people. Her combos are disgusting. And once you run out of cooldowns, just shoot the tanks a little bit. So it all recharges. You have all your cooldowns ready. You can go back in and you can delete people. I mean, she's so good. She's probably one of the most complete DPSs. Look at my tier video if you want to see how I rank them all, and you know who else you should try to master. I might drop a Nimor guide here in a little bit, even though he's pretty straightforward. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for y'all, man. You know, who's y'all favorite DPS to use and who y'all mastered. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.